Fari, what's up?
I guess China and Greece, and we're still waiting a buy signal, but data says have more tea. We're going to be
What
down a little bit more, so
what do
we're
you
not there.
make of this crazy volatility in the S&P futures? I mean, we are, trading in a 35-point range, it seems like every day, and right down to the same levels of support right down here at this 40 level, and then we seem to get all the way back up into the 70s and we find resistance. I mean, this trading range is starting to become very well defined. It just seems like a new trading range. How are you playing this, Fari?
Well, do you follow this Twitter handle called Hamzei Analytics?
We do
Did
follow
you
you, Fari.
did you see what I asked when we were at the bottom? I said, "Auntie, where are you?"
T, where are you?
Yeah, Auntie Jeanette came in and we took off. So
So she
it's
must
not
follow your
bad. I mean,
account
we
too.
want volatility as day traders. Come on, be careful what you wish for, right? So yeah, it's just I was surprised overnight for last night. I mean, this morning when I look at the data, I said, okay, because some of our indicators were beginning to kind of side with possible tradable low, which is, as you know, over the years you learn over time, no one indicator or two are going to tell you what's going on. You got to cut the data different ways. It's a preponderance of evidence. They're beginning from slowly shifting from sell to buy. As you get more, obviously, you may pass that point of the lowest price. When all line up, it's a little bit too late. So I've been kind of watching it a little bit carefully every night, but we were fairly close. Let's see, a couple of days ago, I'll give you an exact date here. We got very close into as the initial setup on the 29th, okay, of June. And then midday yesterday was also very, very promising from the indicator standpoint. And now, of course, there's a new round. We're down 15 handles.
Fari, I want to ask you about, changing your style to different modes of volatility. And I think that's one thing that traders have to understand here is that when the markets start moving like this, I mean, yeah, you have, bigger rewards, but you have higher risk as well. Do you have,
Correct.
for the do you dial down? I mean, I know you like to trade 100 lots in the spoos. Do you, when it gets like this, do you dial it down to 50 and, try and give yourself a little more?
Whoa, wait a second. I never disclosed my size.
I'm joking.
How'd you
with
get 100
Fari.
lots?
I'm joking.
Or
with you.
50?
I'm joking. With
Okay,
you.
okay. Yeah. I mean, I have traded size, but, there's as you learn, as you trade more and you learn more, staying in the game is the biggest thing. So what you want to do is kind of pick, some sort of a system to pick and say, this is what I should be doing. It's a function of pending news. Let's say this afternoon we're going to have FOMC minutes. Okay, so you got to watch economic calendar. Volatility, you got to watch your signal levels, see how how we're vibrating intraday. And the older I've gotten, the more cautious I am on size, and I use a lot of scaling in and scaling out. I'm less certain of the market will do this, because the market doesn't care what Fari Hamzei thinks. Market is always right. It's aggregate of all of us. What I try to tell my people in the chat room, my flock, if you will, is that first hour and last hour, if you see sign of momentum, you're okay to use a little bit larger size, but pretty much stay very tight, especially in between, lunchtime, don't trade, that kind of stuff. And we try to actually put, for example, Sigma bands on advanced decline. We want to see some sort of momo coming out of the underlying, which is because we're trading index, right? So we want to see the whole market. Is it going sideways? Is it going up or is it going down? And then if you see some signs of momentum, if MAC is moving fast, okay, you may add a little bit, but overall, we've been fairly cautious. It's also summertime. We get a lot of use, right? You get a lot of volume at the beginning, a lot of volume at the end of the day, and in between, lunchtime is dead. We also watch moving average of volume, okay, for NQ and ES constantly. As a matter of fact, I posted outside on a 15-minute look back, just to get a calibration in our mind where we are. We also look at what we have done overnight in volume. Right at the open, somebody usually punches in the chat room what we traded right to the overnight. So you get a sense about what kind of day we're facing. But no, I've been fairly careful here. I've done a lot of ads. I've taken things off throughout the day, but size, I've been fairly cautious because these moves could be vicious.
Fari, what are your thoughts here on oil? You had the great call there last year when you called the big decline in oil way up at $95 and obviously called it way down into the 40s here. So you are crude. You've got your crystal ball on crude. I know you have it. What are your thoughts here on crude?
Well, there was a time I was wondering if I could call eBay and get my money back on that crystal ball they sent me. But here, and they said that no refunds. This is all sales are final. Here's what we said about April. We said volume. Storage is going to be an issue. We were trading 45 to 50 era. If we bounce the last support, which we saw go through in Thanksgiving, which was 60, will become the new resistance. I don't think we went past 61. We also warned about Iran coming online. Now, overnight, you see there's a report, I believe, on Reuters that says we're up to 57 because talks with Iran are not going well. If Iran comes online, which they need desperately to get some more hard currency, reserves, there's a gap on the chart at 33. At 33, it'll change a lot of things. Companies like Walmart will do better, Target and so forth, because disposable income gets wider. And then you're going to have major recessions in 4 or 5 states like Texas, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota. These going to be hindered. There'll be a big change involved. Probably the pressure off of savings on gas comes off. Detroit will be helpful in sales. It'll be a game changer after we go 33. The issue is how long do we stay there? My thinking is that that could be temporary. We could bounce back from 33. But one thing is clear from what we see with all other exogenous news, the days of 70 and 80 and $100 oil for now are over. Maybe next year, maybe a couple of years from now. But for now, the numbers we need to think about is about 60 as a resistance. As the chart shows, maybe 65, but we're not going to go back up there, not this easily. So, major difference for a lot of now. At 33, you will have some credit events. Some banks are going to have some issues. I think drilling companies are going to smarter. Pardon me?
At 33, you're going to have some major problems with a lot of different. You're going to have some problems even with banks that are loaning money to some of these.
Exactly.
Obviously.
Well, some of the, as you know, we have a very resilient economy. Some of the, if you look at the XOP members, this is the drilling ETF. They've been fairly, as a result of the drilling, the company's drilling, you've noticed they've come up with new solutions. Sometimes they're tapping the wells without finishing it, just in effect using the well itself as a storage. And also cutting, that way you can also cut costs and cut some payroll. They're trying the drillers are becoming a little bit more efficient. They have to, they have no other choice. So some of the worst news on the credit event may be exaggerated, but we will have some credit event. It can't be without. I agree with you. It can't be without. And of course, that impacts everything else. If you have the states, that's the major product. Let's say Oklahoma, for example. Yeah, it's going to hit everything else. It's going to hit all other discretionary expenditures. So, interesting times ahead.
Hey, Fari, I want to talk to you a little bit about, we talk about analyst ratings and whatnot and what they're doing. And, everyone can have their different theories. Big Jake popped in the chat here, and he's talking about a biotech stock, ESPR. It's a very volatile one. Chardin just reiterated its sell rating and key concerns largely unanswered. Will you look at this news and pay absolutely no attention to it, or will you pay attention to the news and issues that you're in? Because it reiterated a $55 price tag into the stock, and it's trading at 91 and change.
What's the symbol again?
ESPR.
Oh, ESPR. Okay.
Yeah, Espeon Therapeutics.
Yeah. First of all, it has traded only 2 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it past the mid-13s. I've got a couple of guys who trade the biotech stuff. I trade SPX and ES, those derivatives. What's critical there? Technology, finance, and energy. So I concentrate on those. When we say technology, biotech really isn't there. But and also they've had their own cycles. Remember, some of these biotechs have their own approval cycle, funding, and coming online, all that good stuff. So on this one, I would pass. But for example, what is catching my eye today is more layoffs by Microsoft. By the way, over the weekend, I was in Canada, and I was at the Square One, which is supposedly second largest mall in Canada, where my cousin, we were just checking out different stores. There was a Apple store, there was Microsoft store. Talked to both of the managers there, just challenge checking. I told them, here's what I do. I just want to see what you guys are up to. Earnings season are coming. Don't give me any non-public info. Just tell me your observations and so on. While Microsoft team was very cheered up and ready to go, Apple was very busy. Apple store was packed. Of course, most of the people hang around the watches, the iWatch, but I hang around just listening, looking at the $22,000 watch that tell you what time it is. So as I was hearing people, notice a lot of people were buying the $300 one, the $400 one. But Microsoft, I think they're looking forward to their Windows 10. Probably that's the kind of a technology I'll be looking at to see what kind of results would that be. Unfortunately, I believe that will be after their earnings. They're rolling it out on July 29th. As you know, this one is the platform, the OS, that would run across phones, pads, and PCs.
Yeah, Microsoft here. I just want to touch base real quick. Microsoft came back and filled that gap, Fari, all the way from that earnings. It had a high at 43.61. We made a low here at 43.32 yesterday. We filled that gap. Fari, don't send my lunch next week. I'm going to be out next week, so you can hold off and wait.
How about this week? Aren't you going to eat this week, or are they feeding you intravenously?
All right. One more symbol for you actually two more real quick, 30 seconds. Could you give us some Sigma channels on Estee Lauder here? This stock doesn't seem to be giving it back. What do you think of this consolidation here in Estee Lauder?
Symbol, please.
EL. Estee Lauder, really?
Estee Lauder, yeah. It's a great company. Look, people always need this stuff. This is recession-proof. Why were you expecting to give it back?
No, it's been. I meant just vis-a-vis the market. The market is coming back, and this has held up pretty well. I think for me, as long as it holds this double bottom at the 86 level, it looks good to go north. You are getting a couple tops here over 88, 88.40, and 88.35. That's the take on that. Like to see it hold 86. One more for you, Fari, and this is a low price one, and it's a Chicago stock. Groupon, GRPN.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, final thoughts on that. Holy mackerel.
Okay. On Estee Lauder, we're very flat. I was looking at Sigma channels. Absolutely no signal, very flat. Groupon just bleeding down. It's a $5 stock. We usually don't touch anything under 20 as a rule. It used to be 12. But this is in a clean channel on a daily. It has via the channel twice, which was in May once and early June. It's -1, -2. It's just a continuous bleed. I would not touch this.
Okay,
It's probably a structural thing happening here.
we've been on the line with Fari Hamzei. He's the founder of Hamzei Analytics. He joins the show every Wednesday, bringing his wealth of knowledge and aggressive equity options and index futures trading. Thank you, Fari, and I'll talk to you 2 weeks from today.
Always a pleasure to be with you guys. Take care.